To get to Australia, I'd have to work as a toilet cleaner aboard the Pacific Princess II, a cruise ship sailing from Cape Town, South Africa to Sydney, Australia. Cleaning toilets wasn't my first choice, but then again, most of my best ideas have come in the bathroom hunched over a toilet. I've had what some would call visions in just such a position. In any case, first, I tried to scam the airlines, of course. But no matter how sneaky I was with connecting flights, staggering them a few days apart, switching carriers, booking some legs under C. Ingram and some under Clay Michael Ingram, and using different credit cards, no matter what, the booking agent always came back with, "Sorry, sir, American citizens are not permitted to travel to Australia at this time." I researched alternative means of transport, but aside from flying, there's really only one way to get to an island, by boat. The same problems came up again and again. No American citizens allowed, not as passengers anyways. But then I read the employment application for the Pacific Princess II, and much to my delight, I found that it had no stipulations about nationality for employees whatsoever. Why? Well, because I would be working in international waters and would not be allowed to come into port. The application stated that local authorities will prevent any employee from disembarking without a valid passport, granting access to the country they intend to enter. But that was all. It didn't say I couldn't work on the ship, even though I was an American citizen and the ship was bound for Australia. So I applied, got the job, bought a ticket, and packed my bags. As for the minor problem of not being allowed to disembark in Australia, well, once we got close enough, I figured I'd just jump overboard and swim. Simple, right? My itinerary took me from Chicago to New York, and then, after a 4-day layover, from New York through London to Cape Town, where I'd go through a week-long training course. Okay, so the layover in New York was to finalize the purchase of a new house, the house that I hope to someday share with Callie, though that would never come to be. I loved Chicago and everything around it, except the west and the north side. And yes, if I could have had it my way, I never would have left, least of all for New York. Jesus. But I knew that buying a house there in Manhattan for us would show Callie that I had changed. Okay, I know. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Let me explain. So, once I saw her, I'd still have to get Kelly to forgive me. But, turning up with a house, seemed a lot better than just turning up with a stupid grin. I'd have to prove that I've become a man of action, that I was willing to put her needs ahead of my own, and most importantly, show her that I wasn't afraid. This all goes back to way before we broke up, okay? You see, a year and a half before Callie left me, she'd received a rather unique rejection letter from the prestigious RGB School of Photography in New York City. This was the school she dreamed of attending ever since she found out her mother had taught there. Callie must have spent, a year on her application. Her portfolio was superb. Her letters of recommendation from former art teachers, they were impressive. She'd spoken to professors, some of whom had been her mother's old friends. We'd been certain they'd accept her. And man, was I happy when they didn't. Yes, I know, that sounds awful. But it was true. We'd visited the school together, checked out the campus, walked around Central Park. We'd only stayed a weekend, but that was enough. No one looked at each other. You couldn't ask someone direction, or what time of day it was, or where was a good place to get a drink. Their pizzas were thin, and you folded them. Their hot dogs, they came with ketchup. And I checked the price of booze. $8.50 for a bottle of Busch Light in a bar? I could have bought a 30-pack of those for $8.50 in Tinsel Park. I almost had a seizure. I didn't say a thing to Callie, though secretly I wished for something to go wrong. But the rejection letter backfired on me. Written by the dean of RBG himself. It said, in essence, you don't need to go here. You're already too good. How cool is that? Callie said, slapping my shoulder hard enough to make me pivot at the waist. My elbow hit a desk lamp, which teetered, bumped into a framed picture on Callie's nightstand, and knocked it onto her bed. The picture was of Callie's mother. Yeah, wow, it's unbelievable, I said, going to pick up the picture, until Callie nudged past me to get it herself. I waited for Callie to inspect the picture, making final adjustments to how the picture stood, as though this cellulite image of a dead woman, who Callie had never met, preferred to stare at just such an angle. Do you think they'd give you an honorary degree or something? I asked. What? No, that's the point, Callie said. They're saying I don't need that sort of thing. Credentials and stuff. I've always sort of known, but it's nice to hear from someone else, And just think how much more time I'll have to photograph the city. Yeah, I nodded. That's true. I told you. You should have been photographing the city all along. I turned back from the door to see Kelly squinting at me funny. What? What's that look for? You haven't been listening to me, have you? Huh? What? No, I have. What's up with you? What's up with my door? Nothing, I said. I just don't want your dad walking in, is all. As I started rummaging through her closet for our hidden bottle of champagne. We are going to celebrate, I presume. Aha, there you are. Sparkling wine, I said, reading the label aloud. Hey, I thought this was champagne. Clay, no, it's only champagne if it's from France in Champagne. Will you just listen to me? What? I have been listening to you, I said, peeling the foil from around the cork. You didn't get into the school, but it's okay. You don't need to go to the school. Win-win. We don't have to move anymore. Clay, that's not what. Plus, you'll have more time to photograph Chicago. I popped the cork. See? I heard everything. Strip poker? Usually, Kelly and I celebrated by playing one-on-one strip poker and drinking. Everyone wins at the end of one-on-one strip poker and drinking. I'm still going to New York, Clay. I stopped sipping the small amount of sparkling wine bubbling over the lip of the bottle. Clay. Kelly bit her lower lip and walked away, then circled back to the bed that stood between us. No, Clay, I'm sorry. I won't. I won't do it. I refuse to let this be my whole life. What makes you think you're so much better than the rest of us here? Why? Huh? Why are you so afraid to come with me? Me? I laughed, leaning across the bed. I'm afraid? Petrified, she hissed. You're not an idiot, Clay. You could have went to college. Hey, I applied. I didn't get in. Neither did you, by the way. Kelly closed her eyes a second, her hands to her temples like she had a headache. Do you think I'm stupid or something? I know what you did. Oh, yes. Her eyes opened. The University of Chicago, Michigan, Notre Dame. You only applied to schools you knew you wouldn't get into. She was right. I didn't have any backup schools. I did visit New York with you, and I was fully prepared to move. I was. I looked at that stupid house with you, I said, referring to the house we'd seen on the Upper East Side. The one that, as soon as Kelly saw it, she'd shrieked, "Isn't that the cutest house you've ever seen?" Oh, you never would have moved into that house with me, Kelly snapped. Yeah, because we couldn't afford it, I said. No, because you're afraid. I'm amazed you even get up in the morning. You're so afraid. Afraid, yes, I'm so very afraid. And just what do you think I'm so afraid of anyway? Of leaving this place. Whatever happened to, I want to have my own business someday, huh? I'd rather work 100 hours for myself than 50 for someone else. You remember saying that to me, Clay? Because I do. I remember you saying that. And that'll never happen if we stay here. I'll keep working at Jewel, and you'll keep driving that ice truck, and somehow not swerving into a bus full of nuns. I won't keep driving, I said. I'll be the dispatcher. I'll be telling the trucks where to go. All the trucks. I will be their boss. Yeah, you'll be the boss of the trucks. And maybe I'll be head cashier someday. Whoop-de-fucking-do, Clay. Kelly said this as I walked to the bedroom door, opened it, and stood in the doorway not looking at her. She grabbed my arm from behind and said, "You think this is easy for me? You don't think I'll miss my father?" I wanted her to feel the same attachment as I did to where we had grown up, but instead of saying that, I just tried to make her let go. I said, "Yeah, I know you'll miss your father. Me? I'll miss both parents." And sure enough, with that, Kelly let go of my arm. And then, with an eerie and utterly exhausted sort of calm, she asked, "Why is it you feel so committed to this place anyway, huh?" "I don't know," I said. "I like it here. I'm committed to here, I guess. Okay? So what?" And Kelly sighed and said, "But here's not committed to you, Clay. I am." I should have hugged her after that. We should have played strip poker with sparkling wine, and I should have stroked her hair and promised to go to New York, to go with her to the ends of the earth if necessary. But I didn't. I turned and left Kelly's house and walked home, slamming that bottle of sparkling wine before I'd even reached my own front door. Then, for the next year and a half, I let things go back to normal, except that I started cheating, and then Kelly found out. But so help me, before I went to win her back, I spent all my Antarctica savings on that cute little house on the Upper East Side of New York that Kelly liked so much. Figured that had to count for something.